everybody, and welcome back to Higher Density Living. If I keep it here, Jason, I don't have to have I don't have to use my hands.
Yeah, it just stays there.
I can just read it.
Well, no, it's face. Like you're like at the Wailing Wall in Jerusalem, where they put the Torah right there, so they
shake back and forth.
But they have it like where it's hanging right in front, so all they can see is the words.
Really?
Yeah, we need to do this with the cards.
See, this one's
build a little thing.
Matrix of the Mind. I can just read it right here.
So we're talking about the Law of One Terra.
Yep.
And we're going to start going through these cards.
There's 22 of them.
So the Terra, the Law of One Terra, is an ancient system of archetypical images, symbols, and wisdom. Thank you. Look at that.
All right. So she is holding it with, this is so heavy. Is that 30 pounds? Look at this crystal. Okay. That's all I wanted to say. Awesome. Everybody needs to look at this.
Yeah, it's so
I'm going to put it right here because it matches with the card.
Yeah, okay? There we go. Perfect.
I'm going to put that really heavy thing right there. Okay.
And it's the Law of One, a series of channel messages known as the raw material. And in that book 4, the Terra takes on a unique and profound significance. Mm-hmm. And so today we're going to get into card 1, which is the matrix of the mind. Yeah. And this matrix of the mind is the starting point for the journey of consciousness. So, and it's often correlated. If you want to, we have the other big deck here. I'll pull this one out on the giant Rider-Waite tarot card. It's often depicts with traditional as the magician. So some people will know it as the magician. So that's really cool. In the traditional tarot system. And this card in the Law of One represents something fundamentally different. It is seen as the container, so it's the matrix of the mind. It's seen as the container of consciousness, the potentiality of the mind, and the foundation from which the spiritual journey unfolds.
Yeah, so this is cool. The term matrix can also be defined as the womb.
Yes.
What happens in the womb? Things gestate.
Mm-hmm.
They are given all the energy in the cells. You can't really, get rid of modern technology for a second.
I'm getting rid
Say you have no 3D ultrasounds. You don't know what's inside.
No.
But what are you doing? You are incubating this potentiality of life.
Yes.
Okay? So this womb, this matrix of the mind, you don't know what's inside of it until you learn how to tap into it.
Yes.
That tapping is a positive potentiation, right?
Right.
So, for instance, a woman always has this space which is available inside of her, which can hold a new human being. All right?
100%.
The organs will move. It will open up the space. It has an area. I'm just trying to keep it
simple. This has happened at least 8 billion times.
Yeah, it happened a lot of times. But it requires potentiation to allow the cells to turn into a human being in this womb. Mm-hmm. Okay? Now, the mind is just a non-physical representation of the physical. And just like in order for a female human being to incubate a child, it requires male sperm.
Mm-hmm.
It requires a potentiation, right? That's why this is going to sound stupid, but that's why a penis goes into a vagina.
Right.
It potentiates in.
Mm-hmm.
The vagina receives, okay? The eggs are already there, sort of in a non-active state of the female. The female loses them every single month, a portion of it, right? But the male sperm goes in and potentiates.
Yes.
It infiltrates. It literally sends itself into the egg itself.
It's the pure potential of expression.
That's correct. So now, if you take in these actions, and then that allows this human being, this new creation, these new possibilities to incubate in this womb, this matrix, those aspects, those ideas, you can take it in a metaphorical sense to exactly what occurs with the mind itself.
Yes.
The mind is this thing, this vessel that requires catalysts from the outside,
right,
to help train it or give it material so it can potentiate into something. Now, the mind you also have to look into. And what I mean is you have to recognize your thoughts. You have to have levels of self-awareness. You don't actually know what's inside. And when you look at the card here, which is really cool, there's a bird in a box.
Right.
You can't see in the box.
Right. Yes.
So what is this person, this initiate on the card doing? They're looking into this sphere.
Right.
All right. This sphere of existence, the sphere of the mind, which they are holding with the right hand, taking a right hand path, right as also the positive sign, potentiating in, using it, having that focus to see inside of the matrix. That's where the bird is. That's the understanding, but you wouldn't know from the outside. You don't have the ultrasound. You don't have those things. So what are you left with? You are left with the mind to potentiate with thoughts and other catalysts to see inside of this thing, which is otherwise an empty incubation.
Mm-hmm.
You tracking with me on this?
Yeah, 100%.
So what are your thoughts, Jason, on the matrix of the mind? I know you had put this together here, but what are you, from Ra's notes?
Right. And so the interpretation in the law of one is looking at, representing the foundation and pure potential of the mind is the base, the unconscious from which our conscious experiences spring and evolve.
So cool.
That's what you just said.
Mm-hmm.
That's the description of it. The interpretation in the context of one is this card is viewed as, Ra was saying, the conscious waiting self. It is depicted as being conscious and waiting, indicating a state of potential. And that's very important.
Remember we talked about the female?
Right.
Conscious and waiting, the womb, like all those aspects, all those things are there waiting to be potentiated from an outside catalyst, the male, to allow this fetus to form.
Yes, it's ready and willing as a female womb. It's ready and willing to be activated.
Correct. At a biological level, outside of women choosing when they want to be pregnant.
And it's directed through experience.
Absolutely, through choice.
Yes,
through choice. And what do you notice about this card? What direction is this person facing?
Yeah, exactly.
What direction? I'm asking you.
Yeah, what direction is it facing?
Yeah, which way
it's
they
facing
looking?
Towards.
Yeah,
but to the right. I guess you would say
to the right.
Yeah, exactly.
Right in all of human society and evolution and civilizations is right is positive.
Right.
As in plus. Left is negative.
What you can still go service to self in the negative left-hand path, and you're still going to make it. We all evolve into sixth density eventually.
Right. And what else is going on here?
So there's not bad.
No,
we don't want to say people.
We're going to break this down. I like asking you, what color is the clothing this person is wearing?
What color is the clothing?
Yeah.
Well, it's kind of like a grayish color.
So is it lighter than the box?
It's light. Yeah, exactly. It's
okay.
white. Yeah.
Positive.
Right.
Potentiation. What color is the box, the matrix?
It's dark.
It's dark.
Yes.
It's the negative.
Right.
It's the receiver. It's waiting. It's the balanced thing. So this person holding this sphere.
Right.
Okay. The sphere, representative of the mind, infinity, measurement, all these great things, in the right hand, while it's facing to the right, wearing white, is this perfect, positive, masculine, potentiating image as it faces and wants to understand and open up the probabilities for what is inside that matrix of the mind, that box itself.
Yeah, Ra looks at it as like the starting line of spiritual evolution, like the unconscious foundation, because we talked about the conscious and this is the unconscious. So this card is where the journey of the mind begins. It is the undistorted essence of consciousness. It is the pristine and untouched ground, the container of all potential mental activity.
It's cool that you say that. Because again, when you review the card, and we'll have this up on the screen for you all to see, what is underneath the bird in this matrix of the mind box? What are they?
Oh yeah, it's like like blocks or like little like a checkerboard. Yeah.
And what is it? It's black and white. It's perfectly balanced.
Yeah.
Foundation.
Yes, the foundation.
Waiting to be potentiated. It has all the energies there.
Yes. Yeah, he talks about it represents the capacity for all learning, all thinking, all analyzing, and all understanding. Before it is acted upon by experience, the catalyst, it is pure potential.
It's awesome.
And the first card is also in the sequence of the matrix of the mind, sets the stage for the entire spiritual journey. And this card also represents the origin point of consciousness. It is the source from which all mental activity springs. And Buddhist concept of this is like base consciousness that underlies all of our mental activity.
Well, don't you think like this is, say for instance, this giant crystal we have on the table, one that also this human being is holding in the right hand. Is that not representative of like that source?
Yes.
Requiring you to have a point of focus, something to look into.
Yes.
Something to reflect back upon.
I love that. Yes.
Right? Yeah, it's kind of pathetic how useful one image can be.
Well, this is the whole idea of it, is to take the matrix of the mind, this first card, and look at it, and then put that in the advanced studies of this is to take this card and use it in your daily life.
Yeah.
So the origin point of consciousness, this Buddhist concept, but there's also the initiation of spiritual journey. Being the first card, it symbolizes the beginning of the path towards spiritual enlightenment and unity with the divine, or with God, or with source or creation, whatever, however you want to look at unity, divinity, I like, one of the things that I was reading about this and I thought was really interesting is using it in meditation.
Oh, cool.
And as a meditative tool. So for you, and this is really cool and practical when I look at this card, and we'll do this with you, reflecting on pure potential. So asking the question, what is the nature of my mind in its most fundamental, purest form?
The nature of my mind is to receive.
Yes.
It is not to be sending out radio waves all the time.
Right.
Shut up, listen, and let things flow into it. Do not assume what the possibilities are. Just let them be possible.
That's so hard to do.
It's really...
Dude, I am always thinking possibilities.
It's really hard to
do. I'm
do.
running scenarios, puzzle pieces in my head.
But the thing is, you're blocking out all the things that are already coming to you because you're running the scenarios.
Yes.
Rather than allowing all of these potentials to just come to you.
So let me ask you the next meditative question. How does this pure potential express itself in your life?
That's a good question. I was sitting at a bar in Santa Fe.
This is a good expression for me.
There's a whiskey.
I'm already in there.
There's a whiskey.
Well, I'm not into whiskey, but
yeah. And there was a stranger that was sitting next to me and Amanda. And he started to ask me about my life. And I'm going to bring this back here to what I'm talking about.
I love
with this. With letting things come in, right? Not forcing it forward. And he says, well, I was explaining what I do, where I am, how I think, blah, 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 blah. But this guy was a little bit existential. So he says, well, what does it feel like? So I took my right hand and I grabbed him by his jacket. And I pulled him towards me. I said, do you feel that sensation? That's what I feel. I no longer swim against the tides of life. I let it pull me forward. I've realized in my meditations, it's not about me forcing these things to occur. I've planted all those seeds. All those paths have occurred. Now I move with the flow.
Yeah, for me, it's just allowing my higher self to work.
That's what I'm doing.
Yeah.
And I was trying to give him a metaphor. And he said, I've never experienced anything like that. He said, thank you for sharing it. He said, I will never forget what it feels like to, to feel that tug. It's not about being pushed forward. It's about being pulled. How does water move? Water does not push itself forward. It pulls itself forward in a river. People forget that. How do planes move? They don't push themselves forward with thrust. They pull themselves forward. It's sucking the air in. It's pulling itself forward through the sky, through the water-based medium.
That's so good. Yes.
That's how these things work.
Yeah, exactly.
How does gravity work? It pulls you into the earth. It pulls you towards the thing of higher mass. It does not push you into it. Anyway.
No, I love that.
That's how I answer your meditative question.
We're going to do more. So we're reflecting on pure potential in the card. We're also looking and understanding the mind's journey, contemplating the ways in which experiences shape and develop this potential. So question.
Yes.
How have my life experiences catalyzed the evolution of my consciousness?
Why are you asking me that? Are you? You're the only one that would know that.
Yeah, but how have your life, Alexander, your life experiences catalyzed the evolution of your consciousness? The change from my to your.
Thank you. You have these things which can be difficult, which can seem easy, which can bring you joy or pain. When you use them as material to potentiate trains of thought, allowing you to reflect on how you view a situation you have had as something to either make you a victim or say, what a learning experience, what a great joy in this life. those are the things that allow me to evolve. It's taking all of those different catalysts, all of those moments, reflecting on them again and say, what about this is the learning material? And when you do that, you start to take this potentiating path to say that, wow, look at all the different possibilities, how I can now apply what has been learned from that experience to all these different things. This energy did not harm me. It gave me sustenance from which my mind can continue to grow with, where I can continue to evolve in my consciousness. I do not view it as something that is destroying me, but it is adding to this repertoire which I have to experience life with.
100%. And I think when we look at this, we need to understand this unique lens of the law of one Terra in the sense of it's not your usual traditional interpretation. Because like I said, this is a magician card too, but we're seeing something that's totally different happening. We're looking at it in a metaphysical philosophy, an overarching kind of let's get specific. How's my relationship? How's my love life? You know what I mean? Like in a traditional card, how's my career going? This is more of a vast and complex cosmology and a spiritual framework for your life and understanding.
That framework which you talk about. Yeah. Each of these offers an equilibrium. Each of them offers a symmetry in the material. It's the same foundational principles which the universe exists off of, but they've put them here in a format which is recognizable to us as human beings. Everything you need is always here on just one card, but each one showing its own new little image with something else to learn from it, but all really based on the same principles.
Yeah, and they gave these to Egyptians back in the day, not going against their free will. They would just ask them questions about it. And so that's how the cards came. And then the Egyptians ended up using them, with initiates in these secret mystery schools and stuff like that. But this card one, the Matrix of the Mind, it invites us to contemplate the mind's foundational state and its journey through the catalyst of life. Mm-hmm. Whether you approach the law of one as a curious skeptic, a devoted student, which you did for 2 years straight, or somewhere in between, this unique interpretation of the Terra offers a rich and thought-provoking perspective on spiritual evolution and the nature of consciousness itself. And that's what we're going to get into. We're going to get into the mind, the spirit, the body. It's those three things, the complex that Raw talks about.
And every time I see a card, and I've seen it again, I've seen it multiple times.
You always see something different.
I always see something different. I'm always learning something new.
That's evolving. That's adapting. And that's evolution. Yeah.
And this card doesn't just have one specific output. It has many.
And that's the deeper understanding. It's the matrix of the mind. It's the law of one Terra. It's a gateway into the cosmos. And it's an invitation to explore the mind's vast potential.
So cool.
And the path that lies ahead on our spiritual journey. So when you see the matrix of the mind, I just love the sound of it.
Sounds so cool.
Yeah, the matrix of the mind.
Yeah.
If in conclusion, what do you think about when we look at card one?
Anything's possible.
I like that.
Don't limit yourself, because when you do, you're limiting your cognitive. You're limiting the cognitive gain you can have in this world and everything that the universe has to teach you.
Yeah, those are rookie numbers.
You got to pump those numbers up.
You got to pump those numbers up. Yeah, I love that. But that's what I think of. It's like, we're so tight and think that our mind, it's like, no. You don't even understand.
Open that shit up.
Yeah, let's open that. That's a card one to me. I love that. Anything is possible. Let's open that shit up. Let's go. Let's move.
Crack
let's
that
do
crate
this.
wide open.
Yeah, I love that.
Thanks.